Welcome, Toastmasters and guests, to Kampala Executives Toastmasters Club. Today is our 40th meeting. And as most of you may know, we've stood the test of time. What a privilege to have all of you here today. Before I go any further, I would like to recognize all of you that have joined us. Most of us here are Toastmasters. I see our division leaders, the ministers, and I request our Division F director to greet us before we proceed. Over to you, Toastmaster Wilson.
Thank you very much, Madam President. I'm so excited to be here because I'm almost done with my my second path, and I can't wait to be our next DTM after Susan and Dr. Christie. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Wilson. We wish you all the best. We also have Joy. Joy Talema is also a division official. Joy, please say hello.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Joy. I serve on the division and support the quality of our clubs. Happy to be here and looking forward to learn from everyone.
Thank you very much, Joy. We have Alex Agawa, who is the VPE of Kampala Sunrise and also a division official. Alex, please say hi.
Hi, Kampala Executives. I'm here in the capacity of evaluator, and I'm looking forward to evaluating Madam President Shamim Nirere. Always a pleasure being at Kampala Executives. Thank you.
Great. Madam President, Kampala Toastmasters, in less than a minute, please greet us and we proceed.
You make me feel so important. Good evening, Kampala Executives. So honored to be here, and I can't wait to share with you my speech, and I hope you're all doing well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Yes, you are very important. Our Vice President of Education, Toastmaster Brenda Asiimwe, in less than a minute, please say hello.
Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to connect with everyone on the call. And Madam President, I like how you refer to this meeting. It is small but intimate, and I look forward to hearing what everyone has to share and learning from it all. Back to you.
Yes, thank you, Brenda. We are humbled to have a DTM in the room. Toastmaster Susan Kavuma, DTM, please greet us.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I'm so happy to be here, and I am an evaluator during this session.
Amazing.
Thanks for the invite.
Thank you, Susan. Brian Chira, kindly greet us.
Hello, everyone, and greetings from Bukoto Toastmasters. Today I'm here as the Table Topics Master, and I'm happy to be here and look forward to having more of such meetings with you.
Okay, thank you very much. You're all welcome once again to Kampala Executives Toastmasters Club. As we are all Toastmasters, we're here for our mission. And the mission is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. And like Wilson always says, everyone wants to grow. If you're a good speaker, Toastmasters can make you a remarkable speaker. We are on this journey, and I'm sure we all want to get better. Without spending much of the time, I'd like to invite our acting SAA today, Alex Agaba, to share a few protocols for our meeting this evening.
Good. Good evening. I was going to say good morning. Good evening, Kampala executives. If you can kindly unmute, I want to hear some questions.
Good evening, Alex.
Good evening.
Good evening once again. Good evening, Kampala executives.
Good evening.
Good evening, Alex.
Thank you. I like to feed on people's energy. Yeah, that's my trick. So I will share the meeting protocol. If I can get co-host rights, that would be very nice. I like to share a PowerPoint for this one.
Sure, you have the rights now.
Great. I'll be your standing Sergeant at Arms for this meeting, and my role is to read for you the meeting protocol for this meeting. Protocol number 1, well, this meeting is recorded. By continuing in this meeting, you are consenting to being videotaped. Please self-monitor your microphone. Only speak when, only turn on your microphone when you're speaking. Sit quietly and enjoy the speeches. Great speakers are lined up today. Show appreciation with jazz hands or with interaction icons. Guests, you can rename as guest and then your name. And also please forward your details to Madam President Elizabeth. Speakers, you can pin or unpin the timer. Today's timer is Brenda. For best results while speaking, please make sure your camera is at eye level and speak your camera. Well, as you see, Madam President has a video on and I have my video on. It would be nice for all of you to have your videos on so that we can have a more intimate meeting. It's already intimate, but the video would make it more intimate. The mission has been read already, so, and well, our theme for the year at District 114 is Every Member Matters. And back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Alex. Indeed, every member matters. Members, guests, everyone matters. And in this season, we need to look out for guests and make sure that our members are happy with Toastmasters. How do we do that? That's a story for another day. Let's all reflect on it and think about it. I'd like to invite our Toastmaster of the evening, and this is none other than Frank Kavuma. A little bit about Frank. Frank is one of the key members at Kampala Executive Toastmasters Club, where he also serves as the club secretary. If you want your records in place, just give Frank a call and he'll retrieve a file of many years ago. Frank, we appreciate you. Please welcome to take on the next segment of the meeting.
Frank is unmuted. I don't know why we can't hear him.
Oh, Frank, we can't hear you. Yes, Wilson, your hand is up. Please share your submission.
Hey, Madam President, I wanted to suggest that if Frank is finding problems, maybe you could just continue with the meeting. And when he gets back, he can always share the theme and proceed. Because time is running out, I think. We have Connie's event.
Yes, time is running out, and we also have, I think, other events, the TCON event, Connie will be speaking, and many others. So I'll be the acting Toastmaster of the evening. And as you all may know, the Toastmaster doesn't work alone. There are role takers. We have a grammarian, we have a table topics master, we have evaluators, timer, and the general evaluator. I'll call upon our grammarian to share with us what the role entails, and that is none other than Joy Talemwa. Joy, over to you.
Thank you very much, President. My role as the grammarian is to introduce the word of the day, to listen out to our use of the Queen's language, and to provide a report at the end of our meeting on how we can improve our language. My role is also to introduce the word of the day, and today particularly we'll have a bit of a difference. We'll have a phrase, and this meeting's phrase is burn the ships. This means doing something that's impossible for someone to take a turn from, especially if it's done willingly and without necessity. So the phrase that we'll use in this meeting is it's actually supposed to be burn the ships, not the chips. I'll correct that. So the meaning of this, it's derived from history where conquerors docked their ships in an enemy country, and after that they burnt their ships. And the benefit of this is that this team of people needed to fight and demonstrate that they had to conquer that territory. So there was no way of retreating until they took over that territory. And this was, the choice of the word of the day is based on the theme, which is around decision making. Mm-hmm. So examples of the word, I could give 2 examples. He'll be burning his ship if he tells her all the details of the deal. Burn the ships and attend Kampala Toastmasters' first physical meeting this Friday, as President Shamim Nirere explained to us. At the end of the day, I will give a report of our use and provide some feedback. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, grammarian Joy Talemwa. Let's burn the ships and see what transpires. This is indeed an intimate meeting. And next, I'll call upon our timer, Brenda, to share with us what the role entails.
Good evening, Madam President. As the timer for the meeting tonight, I am going to take note of the usage of time. The prepared speeches last between 5 to 7 minutes. Let me just share my screen. Okay. Let me just change my background. So for the prepared speeches, at 5 minutes, I'm going to share the green screen. And at 6 minutes, 6 minutes and 30 seconds, I'm going to share the yellow screen. And at 7 minutes, I'm going to put up the red screen. Please watch out for my background, and it's going to stay up until you're done with your speaking engagement. And then for the table topics, at 1 minute, I am going to share the green screen. At 1.5 minutes, I'm going to share the yellow screen. And at 2 minutes sharp, I'm going to share the red screen until you finish your table topic. I'll also be observing the different times allotted to the different speaking engagements for the role takers. And at the end of the meeting, I'll share the report. Back to you, Madam President. Oh, I wonder if I should as well go ahead and share my other role, which is General Evaluator.
Sure, please go ahead.
All right. So I am also doubling as a General Evaluator for this meeting. And in that capacity, I am going to be taking note of everything that happens in this meeting or what doesn't happen. And I'm going to report on it at the end of this meeting. I will evaluate each of the participants, their presentations, looking out for good examples of preparation, organization, delivery, enthusiasm, and how the meeting is run in general. At the end of the meeting, I'll give my report. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you, Brenda, our timer and general evaluator this evening. Next, we'll hear from our table topics master, Brian Chira. Brian, over to you.
Thank you very much, President. And my role today as the table topics master is very simple. Today, I will be helping us sharpen our impromptu speaking skills. And in doing this, I will be giving an opportunity to guests and Toastmasters alike to take on topics impromptu and speak about that topic for a maximum of 2 minutes. So I will simply introduce a topic and call on the speakers. Be ready to burn some ships today. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Brian. Yes, we are ready to burn some ships. Now I'd like to test our Toastmaster of the evening. If the microphone is working well, Frank, you're very welcome to take over from here.
Thank you, Madam President. Sorry, we had some technical issues here. Power went off and our internet just got disconnected.
Frank, your volume is
Frank, would you like
faint.
to come closer to your gadget?
All right. Sorry, our internet got off. We got some technical problems. Power went off and we all got disconnected. But we are back on air. Thank you so much, Madam President, for standing in for me. And I'm hoping that a number of role takers have been introduced.
Yes.
From where I got back.
Except the speakers and evaluators. Please take it on from there.
The speakers and evaluators. All right, today we have season Toastmasters, and just know you are going to have the best speeches ever. We have 3 speakers, and I will not be able to introduce any of them. I'll just take you back shortly that our theme today is making decisions. We are all aware that all the actions we do come as a result of the decisions we make. That's the reason why tonight we have a theme called making decisions. And among the speakers we're having tonight, speaker number 1 is Toastmaster
Unfortunately, I can't hear the TMOD. I don't know if it's on my side.
Me too.
Frank, I have not even heard a single word you've said.
Frank?
We are saying that the theme tonight is making decisions. Yes, please.
No, Frank, we're saying we weren't hearing you back there.
We can't hear anything you're saying at all.
Okay.
Maybe, Madam President, just so that we don't waste time as he sorts out his speakers, can we proceed maybe with the first session?
You're muted, Madam President. You're muted.
Can you imagine all along? So as Frank starts his microphone, I'm happy to return on the stage to share with you what the theme is about decision making. We've all made decisions in life, and hopefully most of us make decisions that we do not regret. We have two speakers this evening, and our first speaker will be Shamim Nirere. To evaluate Shamim is Toastmaster Alex Agawa. Alex, please share with us your expectations of Shamim's speech.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Today we have decided to burn our ships and we're going nowhere. We will stay here. I have a suggestion that's a bit crazy, but hey, how about you do a round robin role meeting? Like I hand over to the next role taker, since we have no Toastmaster of the day. That could actually solve the problem.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm waiting on the floor. So my role is to evaluate the first speaker, speaker number one, Shamim. Shamim is attempting her level 4 elective on her pathways journey. And the elective is about public relations strategies. The purpose of this project is for Shamim to prepare and practice skills needed to effectively use public relations strategies for any group or situation. The purpose of this speech is for Shamim to share some aspects of her public relations strategy in a speech that's 5 to 7 minutes, and a speech titled Toastmasters, where leaders are made. Shamim Nirere, Toastmasters, where leaders are made.
Have you ever felt like you're being thrown in the deep end of any swimming pool? Have you ever thought you're so good at speaking until you attend a Toastmasters meeting, especially that of Bukoto, when Beverly Nambozo, Catherine, and DTM Connie Shemelire are delivering their speeches? I once attended one of their meetings and I was blown away. It's not only unique to Bukoto, it is to every Toastmasters club. I remember in 2016, when I thought that Toastmasters is a place where people meet to just toast and drink Shiloh wine. I thought it is just about toasting until I got to a place at Protea Hotel with an invitation from a friend, and I found club contests happening, and there were humorous speech contests. In the speech contest there was a gentleman who was called Umeme. I can never forget that name. And the speech contest had one of the sponsors as Umeme. So I thought this gentleman called Umeme because he works with Umeme, or because Umeme is sponsoring, as it was funny itself. There was another gentleman. There were 3 gentlemen who are so hilarious. Toastmasters and guests, I would like to present to you our strategic PR plan for Toastmasters, and specifically Kampala Toastmasters Club. We all know that Kampala Toastmasters Club is the very first Toastmasters Club that chartered in Uganda. Some people like Wilson like to call it the grandmother of Toastmasters clubs in Uganda. And what do we know about our grandmothers? It is symbolic of love, of compassion, of home. It feels like home. Whenever you're going to your grandmother's place, it feels like home. We want to return this homely feeling to every Toastmaster in Uganda and to every guest. So this is the plan on how we shall achieve that. We shall achieve that through using our social media to publicize what Toastmasters is about, what Kampala Toastmasters can do for you. We shall invite all other clubs to come through and deliver their presentations. We shall go to corporate clubs and tell them how Toastmasters can enhance their corporate governance. How are we going to need your help? Toastmasters and guests, you know someone who has complained about their fear of speaking in public. In fact, one of the top creative people yesterday called me when he was referred to Toastmasters, and he gave me a heart-wrenching confession that he was invited to Nairobi for a presentation with other creatives in his industry. I won't mention which industry because he's really popular, you would know. And because he is so scared of speaking in people, he dropped out, he gave up his position, yet he's one of the top creatives we have in Uganda, in print media in Uganda. So as a way of being vulnerable, he reached out to a friend and said, I really have this problem of public speaking. And that's how he was referred to Toastmasters. We have gold in our hands, like Area Director Wilson loves to say. So this is how I come to you and say, how can we all participate in this cause to take Toastmasters to another level, and specifically to the grandmother, to the home of Toastmasters in Uganda? We are going to ask you that on your status every day, we are going to have flyers to share with you, graphically brief, very good communication to share about Kampala Toastmasters and your clubs. We ask you to share with just one flyer each week with your contacts. Just throw it there and invite people for meetings. We hope you can help us achieve that. We hope to have a press conference communicating about the TCON that is coming up, and we would like to invite other clubs to come and join us next Friday on the 13th of May, when we shall have a physical meeting at the Roots restaurant in Nakasero. We will have a brief presser speaking into the TCON. What does it mean? Why is it important that all clubs in Kampala and in Uganda can participate? And how does it help our corporate governance, even in our work we do? We invite you to come along with your banners. We even invite you to come and present and say something. The other third thing I request you to do is, whenever you're in your clubs, please invite someone. When you invite someone, we are developing a contact list of where we are going to send out an email each week. We realize that we have a gap in KTM, and it is not so different in other clubs where we have so many prospects. They are hot leads, but guess what we do to them? We leave them, and then they become cold leads. What if we together implement a contact list, and where we send out a newsletter or an email, a warm email every week of saying, hello, this is how Toastmasters can help you with just a tip. This is a public speaking tip here. Simple things like that, so that we can keep in the faces of the people. And we are counting on you to share with us your email. We promise you we are not going to sell your data to any third party. We promise you that we are going to keep your data private. The fourth and last is, I would like us to have a joint collaborations. I believe in collaborations. We all are in Toastmasters to achieve one goal of enabling our public speaking and leadership. How do we hold each other's hands? If Kampala Executive Toastmasters is having a meeting today, how do we plug in as Kampala Toastmasters, as the grandmother? We are the old people in the room, or the grandmother in the room of Toastmasters. We want to show you grandmother love. We want to hug you. We want to come and say it is well. So invite us in your spaces. Invite us, nudge us, even when we seem busy. Ask us, in fact, just summon us, and we shall show up. Toastmasters and guests, Kampala Executive Toastmasters, you have come so far from the time you were Andela, and now you're standing stronger with vibrant meetings. I don't know how many times you have meetings. We can learn something from you. We can learn from Toastmasters, Agaba of Sunrise. We are willing to collaborate, and we ask you to come together and let's make this happen. If I forget, just remind me. And lastly, but not least, I invite you on Friday the 13th. We have a physical meeting at the Roots Restaurant in Nakasero. We are calling upon you. We have so many guests coming through, and we want to have that Toastmasters vibe. That vibe I walked into in the 2015 at Protea. That vibe I walked into at Sky's Hotel Naguru when Bukoto was delivering their speeches. Toastmasters and guests. Sometimes we don't know what we have until we lose it. In my mother tongue, there's a saying that goes that uwamba ichirezi ntamenya ko chera. Like if you're wearing white snow, you would not know that it's white snow. Only other people would tell that you're wearing white snow. Let us be cognizant of the white snow we have on our hands. Toastmaster of the evening, over to you.
Wow. Wow. What a wonderful delivery. Thank you so much, Shamim Nirere, for that wonderful delivery and reminding us what we are supposed to do as Kampala Executive Toastmasters Club. A round of applause for Shamim Nirere. Our next speaker tonight is Toastmaster Wilson. And Toastmaster Wilson is delivering his level 5 speech. He is going to be evaluated by Susan Kavuma. Madam Susan, what should we expect from Wilson's speech?
My apologies, Frank, my network had dropped. But today evening, I am honored to be evaluating Toastmasters Wilson Asiimwe division is delivering his second speech under the high performance leadership. That's level 5. And the purpose of his leadership and planning knowledge to develop a project plan, organize a guidance committee, and implement the plan with the help of a team. He did that for the first speech and also is going to do that for the second speech. I expect you to share some aspect of your experience while completing this project. You can decide to use humor, you can decide to inform us, or you can choose a style of your own. I expect you to engage us. I will be looking out for vocal variety, clarity. I will also look out for any other aspects that you want to share with us, your audience awareness, your gestures. And the title of Wilson Asiimwe's speech is Hybrid 2022 Division F Toastmaster Conference. Hybrid 2022 Division F Toastmaster Conference, Wilson Asiimwe. Over to you.
Nelson Mandela once said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." On April 1st and 2nd, we held a very successful division conference. But it wasn't easy at all. Right from the beginning, when our district informed us that we're going to have only online meetings for this year, I was opposed to that idea. I told them that we can actually have a hybrid meeting in Uganda. They asked me, how are you going to do it? It's not easy, it's difficult. I said, we can have the main room where people can sit and then have breakaway rooms where role takers can speak from. The people in the main room can follow the event on large screens. That is what convinced them to let me go on with that idea. It wasn't even easy to convince people in Uganda. I remember during our meetings, Toastmaster Alex Agaba, Jesse, and others were doubting the success of this event because there was an option to have that online access to the conference. However, I managed to convince them that it was possible and we were able to do it. It was tough because we needed money to do this event. We had 2 days and our first budget was over 40 million shillings. So they were asking me also, where is the money going to come from? Your idea is good, but are people going to pay for that event when they're thinking about renewing their membership? I said, we're going to convince them. And we managed to do that. In fact, we had more people attending the physical event at Silver Springs than the ones who were online. Eventually, we were able to get some money from Standard Chartered Bank, thanks to our Toastmaster, Moses Rutahigwa, who convinced management to support our event. Participants paid for the event. Clubs contributed over 2 million shillings and made it possible for us to have a successful event. My company also contributed some money, and I want to thank my leaders at that company for letting me take away some money from the company and support Toastmasters. We had fantastic guest speakers. Robert Kapshenga, Dr. Peter Kimball wowed the audience. People were excited. We had 2 cocktail events on Friday, meet and greet, and then on Saturday after the conference. We had members joining Toastmasters. We had 2 prospective clubs and they're about to charter. Isn't that a success? Ladies and gentlemen, there were some challenges. It wasn't easy to look for sponsors because most companies have tight budgets at the moment. I visited over 40 corporate organizations, but it wasn't easy to get money from them. However, they promised to join Toastmasters in a nearby future. We had some challenges. On the contest day, technology was tough. We had some people coming in to support, and I'm sure some of you were frustrated. I was sweating, and I had to be calmed down by Susan. She came to me and said, Wilson, have some water, calm down, everything is going to be okay. And I thank you so much, Susan, for calming me down. I was under pressure to ensure that we have a big event that was successful. I want to share with you 4 nuggets that you can take into consideration if you want to pull off a big event like that. Number 1, you must have a proper plan. In our case, we went around Kampala and found out that Silver Springs was the best place for us. It was cost effective and its location was favorable. We had a team that was going to handle technology. And despite all the challenges we faced, we were able to pull it off. We had a fantastic team, the finance team, our contest chairs, our conference convener, Susan Kavuma. All these were very attractive people to market this event. We knew how the organization of the meeting was going to be. The second nugget, ladies and gentlemen, is to put together a fantastic team. I've just talked about the people worked with, and I'm sure everybody knows that these people did a fantastic job. Number three, use emotional intelligence. It is not easy to work with old people. You can't treat them like kids. We're just volunteers in Toastmasters. Sometimes they told me, Wilson, I'm busy, I can't do this. In fact, towards the event, all the 3 area directors were absent because they got busy at their workplaces. And I couldn't blame them because COVID disrupted us. When somebody finds an opportunity to get money, you must let them get that money before they come back to Toastmasters. But other people came in and supported the event. I wasn't blaming anyone because I knew that in Toastmasters, you can't walk alone. There are always people who are ready to support you. Number 4, believe in your idea. If you don't believe in your idea, no one else will believe in it. I believed in the idea. Whenever they asked me questions during meetings, I would firmly confirm that the event was going to be successful. Number 5, monitor activities of all the teams. I knew exactly what was happening with the finance team, the venue team, technology team, and I was always ready to jump in and support. If you can't do those 5 things, ladies and gentlemen, chances are high that you're going to succeed. Over to you, Toastmasters.
I see Kavuma is not here, but yeah, in the interest of time, Table Topics Master Brian Kira, you're up. And you have 10 minutes for this session.
Yes, thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. And yes, right about now, as I said, I'm very happy to lead you in this very interesting, scintillating session of us honing our impromptu speaking skills. And I will just be taking it up randomly, unless, of course, there's some of us who are ready to burn the ships, then I could choose you right away. But if that is not the case, I will be choosing someone, and I'll be giving you a topic. And once again, you have 2 minutes to deliver your speech. So just to start us off, Timothy, can you take on the challenge as the first speaker? Timothy, if you can hear us and are in agreement, you can just unmute and let us know. It seems like Timo cannot hear us, and I'll move on to Lucy Manyara. You up for the task? Lucy. Lucy similarly doesn't, I don't get any indication that Lucy can hear us and is ready to take this on. I'll keep going down the list. And if I come to the end, I will still come back. I hope that we shall not be in the same cycle once I. So then can we have Joy? Joy, can you be our first speaker?
give it a try.
Yes, Joy, thank you very much for stepping up. And the topic is, I took the storm by the horns. I took the storm by the horns. Joy, over to you.
Toastmasters and guests, have you ever been in a situation where you've doubted yourself? This was me in 2019, June, when I was asked to be the VPE of Luwa Toastmasters. I looked at this role as a storm, one that I didn't think I would sail through successfully without being swept away. To give you a bit backstory, this was a club with a membership of people that were older than myself, and I was quite intimidated. How would I mentor these members to grow? How would I interact with them? Fast forward a year later, we were able to get the highest recognition as a club, as a President's Distinguished Club, because I took the storm by the horn. I did it afraid. What did I learn from that experience? Firstly, take the storm by the horn, just like our table topics master has mentioned. Secondly, even when you feel afraid, you still have the capacity to do it. One of the things I did was get a mentor who guided me on how to grow the membership of our club, how to handle the dynamics of the education program at Toastmasters. Thirdly, I attended club officer training. This equipped me or armed me with all the skills that I needed, all the resources on the Toastmasters website that enabled us to reach success. So are you considering being a leader this year, in the following Toastmaster year? Is somebody nudging at you to take on leadership? Perhaps you think, I can't take the storm by the horn. Before you consider not to, consider a yes. Over to you, table topics master.
Thank you very much, Joy. I should say I loved listening to you as you took us through the journey of when you had to take the storm by the horns and encouraging us to do the same. And now we shall move on to the next speaker. Can we have, I see someone who is named Great, and I believe that you are destined for greatness. This is your chance to prove us right. Great, can you take up this challenge?
Yes, I'm destined for greatness.
Thank you very much. Love to hear that. The topic is, you thought it was going to be a walk in the park. You thought it was going to be a walk in the park. Over to you, Great.
I thought it was going to be a walk in the park. Little did I know that it would be a walk on the clouds. Toastmasters and guests, about a year ago, a member of this club encouraged me to take on leadership at Kampala Executives Toastmasters Club. I hesitated. I couldn't see myself standing before people and speaking. After a number of meetings, phone calls, WhatsApp messages, I said yes. Little did I know that I had delayed to walk to greatness. Members, it has been a great experience serving at this club. I've met a number of people who have been helpful in other spheres of life. If I wasn't married, I would even get a husband, perhaps. When you're approached to do something, do not hesitate. I realized I should have joined years before because Toastmasters is the best place to be, and taking on leadership is superb. You grow as a person, and you also inspire the people around you. I thought it was going to be a walk in the park, but it became a walk on the clouds. Table Topics Master.
Yes, great. Indeed, I have to say that for me, listening to you again filled me with a lot of energy and hope that we too will end up walking on the clouds. And just to move on to the next speaker.
Table Topics Master, we can accommodate just one more.
Just one.
Yes.
Just one. From the look of things, I think Susan would love to take on this challenge next. Susan, are you able to take on the challenge?
All right. Sure.
Okay then. Susan, a very simple one. What's funny? What's funny? Susan Kavuma, over to you.
What's funny is when you're praying and thanking God that the timer has just told the Table Topics Master that time is up. And you're like, thank you, Lord, I have not been topic. And as you conclude your prayer and say amen, he's told he has 3 minutes, he has one more, and he picks you up. Life is funny. It does not always listen to your prayers. But the one thing that I thank Toastmasters for is that you do it afraid. It is a comfortable space for you to say what's on your mind. You start off very uncoordinated, end up coordinated, and when you're done, you laugh at yourself. That is funny. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much, Susan. And I know you've left us all smiling and not wondering what is funny anymore. So that is it from me. And I thank all those that are able to take up the challenge and to burn the ships. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Awesome. Thank you so much, the Table Topics Master. I think in this meeting, we are kind of double crossing with the roles. Frank, are you there? Okay, I think we lost Frank and Elizabeth had to go do something urgent. So I'll take it on from here. Welcome back from that very invigorating session of Table Topics. Brian, thanks for leading us beautifully. Now we'll go into the next session of the meeting, which is receiving speech evaluations. Our first speaker was Shamim, and Shamim was evaluated by Alex. Alex, kindly share with us the evaluation report for Shamim.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and Shamim for that wonderful speech. I love the speech, Shamim. When I first saw your project, I was curious. I was looking forward. I couldn't wait for this speech, and you didn't disappoint. And these are key areas where I thought you excelled at. Number one, I thought your speech title was great. Toastmasters, where leaders are made. Very cliche, but sometimes it's a cliche thing that make you curious. What's what meeting is Shamim going to tell us about Toastmasters, and I was really looking forward to. And I liked how you began your speech. You began your speech with I believe it was a question. You're pondering about something, and you said, have you ever felt like you were thrown in the deep end? That to me caught my attention. When you asked me a question, I stopped everything I'm doing. It was multitasking. I will now pay attention and listen to you. I'm like, yeah, it was really quite wonderful. And then you took us on a journey. You really took us way back in memory lane. I could relate because I was around before the pandemic, and you mentioned what you used to experience. Your first experience with Toastmasters was, I believe, a Toastmasters contest, and I was there. So I really felt like I connected with your story. Thank you for sharing your story. I also like your passion. You're passionate about this. Like, you really genuine about it. You're going to implement these strategies, and you gave us succinct strategies. I believe there were 3, but I listed 2. And then you also told us how you're going to do this, practical ways of doing this. People are going to share on the statuses. We're going to invite people for meetings. The physical meeting you're arranging, and you invited us for the physical meeting on Friday. Really quite practical ways, asked us to collaborate, just really practical ways. And then another thing I liked about your delivery is that you had an ask at the end. You asked us to visit your club on Friday. And I'm really convinced to visit the club because you've asked me to come. Hopefully I'll make it. I liked your quote also. You don't know what you have until you've lost it. What an educational moment for me to treasure things that I really have, like Toastmasters. I could go on and on and think about the things you excelled, but I think I'm on the red now. And I'll just point out one thing that I believe you can add to your speech to take it from where it is to another level. The speech structure, to me, you have so much to share, and I think you kind of lost me structure-wise. Like, your introduction was perfect. You took us on how it was. Then you gave us your strategies. From your strategies, which are, I think 1, 2, 3, you also gave us the house, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, at that point, it became a mouthful for me, and I really felt like you could just have 3 strategies, just 3. Call us to action, and then really make us want to. I feel like it's so much for you. I know you have a team, but I feel like you're doing so many things. If you can just pick out 3 or even 2, perhaps even 1, and dwell on it, it would really take it home for me. Just one more tip. If you could also maybe block number 1, number 2, number 3, it would help you like move a little instead of being in one position. Overall, I really liked your speech, took me back home, great introduction, and I look forward to more of your speeches. See you on Friday. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Alex, for that very detailed and elaborate evaluation of Shamim's speech. I believe she's taken the feedback to heart. Now we'll move on to Susan's evaluation. Susan was evaluating Wilson's speech, and I apologize, the timing for evaluation is 3 minutes. So Susan, you have 3 minutes. I feel like I mixed up the cards in the previous evaluation. Susan, over to you.
All right. Thanks, Madam TMOD. Wilson, congratulations on completing your second speech and other high performance leadership. What I loved about your speech, I loved that you took us through a journey on how you prepared, on how you set to hold the division conference. I loved that you shared with us things, your innermost challenges. It wasn't easy convincing people. Your own team was not convinced. So how are you going to convince the African team? I loved that you shared with us the things that you went through to get this conference a success. I loved that you shared with us the persons who made it possible. You told us you had a big budget, and you also highlighted or broke down to us the specific persons and companies that came in to help you, should I call it, dress up this budget, the budget of 40 million. I love that you broke down for us some of the challenges that you faced. You went to 40 companies. They were very promising, but not now. You shared with us your stress on that actual conference day when people were not showing up and things were not working, the technology. And I also loved how you then told us a number of things we have to look out for in order to have a successful conference. You mentioned to us it was eventually a success, and the 4 things that you highlighted for anyone else planning for an event. You have to have a plan, a proper plan. You have to have a fantastic team. You have to use emotional intelligence, and you have to monitor all the teams. Wilson, there's some areas I would suggest that you look at next time you're to present a speech like this. Watch for your vocal variety. You had a number of areas where you could have used vocal variety, but you missed a chance. For example, when you told us how you approached 40 companies and there was nothing coming through, you'd have said, imagine, I approached 40, because you have to show us the number. If you say 40, maybe you are supposed to approach 70. So at that point, it helps you emphasize the effort and the number that you approached and how this did not come through. I'd also suggest that you have an opening, a great opening, or they call it a punchy opening and closing, something memorable that we can walk away with. Your conclusion was good, but could have been better. And you would have used the conclusion to tie in with the title of the speech. Overall, great speech, great story. We shared your challenges and your pains together, and I can't wait for more. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you so much, Susan. And just if you could unmute and join me in giving a round of applause to our speech evaluators. I believe you've done an incredible job. So thank you, our dear evaluators, Shamim and Wilson. I hope that this has been wonderful for you. Thank you so much, team. Now we're going to move on to getting reports from our different role takers. We had, okay, so we have 2 role takers in this meeting. We have the grammarian and, okay, the table topics that just concluded a while back. We have a timer, who's none other than myself, and then the general evaluator, who's also none other than myself. I see Joy has mentioned that she may come at the end. Okay, Joy, I'm going to go ahead and present the timing report and you come after me. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine. Thank you.
Perfect. So I must say that the timing for this meeting regarding starting on time was off. We started the meeting towards 6 p.m. I think we started at 50 minutes past 6 when the meeting was supposed to have started at 5:30, sorry, at 6:30. So timekeeping was not really our biggest strength today. But when it came to the different role takers and the speaking engagements, most of the speakers were within time. Our first speaker, Shamim's speech lasted 7 minutes and 11 seconds. Well within time. Well done, Shamim. Wilson's speech was slightly over the allotted time. It was 7 minutes and 47 seconds. Could have ended at 7 minutes and 30 seconds. When it came to table topics, Joy spent 2 minutes and 11 seconds, well within time. Elizabeth spent 2 minutes and 6 seconds, also well within time. Susan's speech, table topic speech, lasted 59 seconds. That was a bit too brief, but it was well within time. So well done to everyone. And then for the evaluations, Alex's evaluation lasted 3 minutes and 59 seconds. Also over time by some seconds, could have ended at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And then Susan's evaluation was 3 minutes and 31 seconds, so also slightly over the time by a second. But overall, I feel that under the circumstances under which we're holding this meeting, we've all done well on time. This meeting is supposed to end at 8:30, and right now we are at 7:56. So I believe we are managing time and saving time with this whole arrangement. Thank you so much. And now we'll hear the report of the grammarian.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster. Allow me to share my screen, and I'd like to applaud all our Toastmasters that used the word of the day. We had Shamim, we had Elizabeth, we had Brian, who used the phrase of the day, burn the ship. Well done on that. We also had excellent use of the English language. We had vocabulary words like plummeted, scintillating, invigorating. Those are phrases that add to our vocabulary. And for the Toastmasters that shared or used these words, thank you for expanding our vocabulary. We also had phrases like picking my brain, stood the test of time, take you back, walk in the park, vibes, which I would call more like a urban word. I don't know if it's in the dictionary, but it's more of an updated or young people phrase. You can't walk alone. To start us off, take on the challenge, do it afraid. Those were beautiful phrases that were used. Somebody also talked about the grandmother of Toastmasters, and they will use this to refer to Kampala Toastmasters, which was good imagery because we all know that our grandmothers, we have a relationship with them. So using that as a comparison, as a metaphor, was a beautiful technique, Shamim. You also talked about hot leads versus cold leads. You shared with us a quote in your language and even translated it for us. Thank you as well. Areas where we could improve. Somebody said, I found the Toastmasters contest happening. Perhaps consider saying, I attended a Toastmasters contest. Then somebody also said the plan on how to do it. Perhaps just the plan is okay. My plan was. And the last would be pronunciation. There's the Toastmasters who pronounced able and table. So able and table, it's the A is not prolonged as you pronounce those. Then walk in the clouds, perhaps consider saying walk on the clouds. Otherwise, I learned a lot from this meeting. There was great use of English language, and I hope we burn the ships this week and grow our English and our vocabulary. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Joy, for that great report. And now I am carefully going to step into my second role, which is also the final role of the meeting, which I'm performing as a general evaluator. And for me, from the start of this meeting, coming up to this time when we're coming to the end, I feel that the phrase that Joy shared with us, that the grammarian shared with us, has been the overarching theme in this meeting. We've literally burnt the boats to make this meeting happen. And at the start of the meeting, the president shared that this would be an intimate meeting, I felt the kind of energy as we listened to the different speakers. I felt the passion as they spoke about the different topics they chose. And it was so interesting that they were all about their Toastmasters experiences. Shamim delving into her first impression of a Toastmasters meeting and naming the speakers that we all know and are very familiar with. Wilson talking about the most recent Toastmasters hybrid conference that was a stellar, that was a success. I thought that both the speakers were very passionate. I also felt that the role takers, the grammarian was very well prepared for the role. And I like that she used very beautiful graphics. She had slides prepared that carefully explained the word of the day, and she explained it very well. I also thought it was unique that we had the phrase as opposed to the norm of what we usually do in Toastmasters, which is usually a word that we share. So a phrase is equally very important. And I'm really excited about the phrase and how it translates in different aspects of life. You know, you burn those boats and you stay on the island and do whatever you set out to do. So I thought it was a brilliant phrase to use within the meeting. I also thought that the energy, despite being a smaller group, I felt the energy in the meeting was really great, and the speakers had so much to teach us. So on that, I thought those things they just mentioned were excellently done. What could we improve on? Unfortunately, the timing factor in the meeting was not done well. The meeting started very late at 50 minutes past 6 when it ought to have started at 6:30. So we lost a lot of time there. And there were also technological challenges as faced by the Toastmaster of the day. We've literally worn many hats, as they say a Toastmaster does, by performing different roles to make this meeting a success. But I feel that that could have been avoided with better mobilization. And I like that Shamim mentioned that as the grandmother of that Kampala Toastmasters being the grandmother of all Toastmasters Club, that we can always reach out to them to support us. So she said that, and she was here. So, you know, thank you for saying that, Shamim, and everyone else on the call. I think it just exhibits that Toastmaster spirit and how you all are ready to step in when there's a bit of a crisis of, you know, roles and things like that. But I think even on our part, we could as well mobilize better to avoid some of these things. And also having a trial meeting, like if say we could have had one previously, like the night before, maybe, and we could have tested some of these things, or even starting the meeting earlier on, like about 30 minutes, like at around 6 p.m. to ensure that everyone who is taking a role, especially that their technology and gadgets are well prepared, but also knowing that, knowing that, you know, sometimes internet can be unreliable, things like power can be unreliable. But if you have a meeting, that you ensure that if you're going to use your laptop, it's properly charged because you have a meeting later, so you note that. And if possible, that you have backup. Say, for example, if you're using a MiFi, that you're ready to tether off your phone if should your internet go off. So those are some of the things that can as well be pre-planned to ensure that if we are doing a role, that some of these challenges like internet or electricity going off and you don't have battery can be prevented. Otherwise, I love the spirit, the burning, the boat spirit exhibited in this meeting. We've done well, and thank you to everyone for participating. I will now hand over back to the club president. Elizabeth, are you there with us to close out the meeting?
Yes, Brenda, thank you for wearing many hats. Apologies, I'm not able to turn on my video now. I take this opportunity to thank all of you that have participated in today's meeting. I may not mention names, but this being an intimate meeting, allow me to mention each one of us: Joy Talemwa, Susan Kavuma, Brian Chira, Frank Kavuma, Wilson Asiimwe, Shamim Nirere, There are some who came by and dropped off. I thank all of them for coming to Kampala Executives. Before we end, I'd like to call up for any announcements from the executive members. Brenda, anything from your VPA docket?
Our next club meeting is going to be on the 27th of May. So please join us. We'll be communicating details in the coming week. But also just a reminder that on Friday, let's go support Kampala Toastmasters Club, the grandmother Toastmasters Club in Uganda. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Brenda. I've saved the date and I'll be there.
Awesome.
Frank, from your docket as secretary. Okay, as you prepare to speak, Wilson, I think Wilson has dropped off. Wilson is our club treasurer. And on his behalf, I encourage all of us that are here to clear the dues to do so that we can still access our Pathways program on the Toastmasters website. Let's endeavor to complete our dues so that we do not lose access. And generally from the executives, and as you all know, come July 1st, all offices will be vacant. This is to encourage all of you to sign up and become leaders of Kampala Executives Toastmasters Club. Please do not hesitate to let us know. You can let me know, or the Vice President of Education. That's also the committee in charge of elections. Please join the leadership. Also about the TCON, as you may know, the TCON is on the 27th to 29th of this month. Let's all register and attend in large numbers. With that, I thank all of you once again for participating, and I wish you a good evening.
Thank you everyone.
Yeah.
I'm going to be thinking about banning the boats more tonight and the days to come. Thanks, Joy, for sharing that wonderful phrase.
You're welcome. Have a good night and well done to Kampala Executives.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.